Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
It has been about almost 2 days now since the end of Vikings, at least the first half of Season 6, and, we're starting to have everything kind of settle in our heads. It's, we're dealing with the stages of grief when it comes to Bjorn, if Bjorn is really dead or not.
Yep.
But this video, we're going to present just 4 different things that are important to know about Season 6, Episode 11, and, with that, the second half of the final season in general. And we already kind of know that Bjorn may actually still be alive, that Harold may still be alive, so we're not going to talk too much on that, but there's a lot of other interesting stuff from some interviews that executive producer Michael Hirst has given the various publications, so we'll take you through some of that. And before we do, if you like this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates that we got coming up. Let's start though. Point number 1, we're going back to Wessex.
Which is cool. It wasn't always my most favorite storyline in this, but we haven't seen anything going on over there in a really long time, and we do have Alfred out there and everything that happened with Judith, and there are still stories to be told out there.
Yeah, and this is something that Hirst has said in interviews with Sci-Fi Wire and I think a number of other publications in general, is that he feels as though he hasn't given Wessex its proper due over the past few seasons. And on one way it's shocking because Vikings has had so many episodes, and you would think, oh, there's going to be time to tell this story, but then you remember, oh yeah, there's actually a billion things that are also going on.
Yeah, there's just been so much focus on the brothers being divided and fighting over Kattegat, and then we had Lagda was a queen there, and then we had Bjorn was a king there, and we've had Ivar as the king there, and it's been such a fight over this one place for so many seasons now that it really did just take us away from everywhere else and a lot of the exploration that was going on.
And I don't know, this is just my weird tinfoil hat theory here, is that did the presence of the Last Kingdom scare them off on Wessex to a certain extent, that they didn't want to exactly just tread on the same ground all the time?
Yeah, and for me, I'm glad that they didn't. And it's going to be good to see a little bit of that kind of tied back up and see what ended up actually really going on over there. But if you want to see that side of things, Last Kingdom gives you a really good view of that. It's a great show, and it pulls back the curtain on a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Vikings gives us more of what's going on with the Vikings away from that. Yeah. So it's going to be cool to see what's going on out there, but I'm kind of hoping they're not going to just spend all the time out there.
Yeah, and I don't think they will. I think they'll give us a little bit of a balance. Balance makes the world go round with Vikings.
Balance is fine.
Which is important because we have a lot of other stuff to get to. Point number 2, Eric. Eric is going to be in a very important position, which, guess what, is typically what happens when you have snatched somebody's crown. You have the power.
Well, everything was so weird with that vote and Harold becoming the king of all Norway and all of that, and now we've long seen that Harold has had some problems. He's been insanely jealous over Bjorn. He's always wanted to be the king of Norway. He thought that once he was the king of Norway, that everything would just be great for him and he would finally get what he wants, and still wasn't good enough for him. He couldn't get over what was happening with his jealousy with Bjorn. And then we saw what happened with one of Bjorn's wives. It wasn't great. We won't get too into that. But seeing him left for dead, not dead, still just in bad, really bad shape.
He's in limbo.
In limbo. And seeing him take that crown, I think, is very important because it does leave Eric in a position where he can be kind of the kingmaker. He can give it to somebody that he really believes in or that he feels should have this crown.
Can the corpse of Bjorn at the moment end up becoming king?
Well, I don't think he's dead. And I know you don't either. No. So I think that it's very possible that we could be in a situation where we are going to see Eric give it to Bjorn. I don't want to say that Bjorn had his election stolen from him, but it really went sideways.
Yeah. I am going to avoid skating on the very thin ice of those comparisons. But no, I think that really Eric's going to be in a position of power. I can easily see Bjorn making it through finding a way to assemble again. And beyond that, Michael Hirst keeps saying time and time again, not everything we saw in the mid-season finale is exactly as it seems.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about that in our reaction video, which we'll link for you below.
Yeah.
Sort of the idea that a lot of this episode was playing out in Bjorn's head, that it was all about the best laid plans, and that there was a lot of, well, if this happens, I'm going to end up dead. Or if this happens, maybe I'll end up dead. It felt like a lot of that going on, especially with that conversation that was happening with Bjorn and Ivar on the beach, which I think was in his head, of Ivar saying that the gods have left him, and that kind of no matter what he does, he's just not going to win this. He's out-muscled, he's out-planned, there just isn't a way around this.
Yeah.
So I think that he is still alive, and that we're going to be kind of moving into a different era for Bjorn.
Yeah, and no matter what happens, what's real, what's imagined, what's in Bjorn's head, I think Hirst comments to Variety that Kattegat is very much still in play.
Yeah.
That is what we can focus on. Kattegat not going anywhere in the near future. All right, so now, point number 3, and this is per some stuff that Hirst said to TV Guide. Now, Othir, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I might be wrong. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. But otherwise,
he's pretending to be Athelstan, or a Athelstan.
Yeah.
Not the Athelstan.
Yeah.
He got an axe in the head by Floki a long time ago.
We could just call him Phony Athelstan in some
Phony Athelstan, that is right.
But this character, he's going to be important, and he's going to be important because he may have some valuable truth when it comes to Floki, who may actually just be like a walking ash volcano man at this point.
Yeah, and I was wondering we just don't know enough about this phony Athelstan.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that from you. We don't know enough about him yet, but it did seem that when Ubba showed up that they were he was kind of dancing around a lot of stuff with Floki, which is a big reason why him and Torfi are there in the first place. They do want to know what's going on. And I think he does know a lot more than he's letting on. Really, the last time we saw Floki, he was in this cave. He had seen that cross. He was cackling to himself. Everything was falling down on him. I don't think he's dead by any means. I still feel that in the second half of the season, we're going to see him again. But if this phony Athelstan can bring us to him and at least give us some answers, then that would be great.
That will justify this Athelstan's purpose, because just right now I'm just very irritated by the fact that this guy is taking Athelstan's name.
Yeah, and back in this era, Athelstan and Athelwolf and Athelfled and all these names are very common. They seem very common, so
yeah.
It's not him.
All right, so point number 4, returning characters. Who could come back? I think this is something, Hirst is doing his own, high wire act in a lot of interviews talking about this because he knows that he'll basically get knocked off if he reveals anything. But he hasn't really ruled pretty much anything out one way or another. I know the TV Guide question he was asked was specifically about Rollo, but I think Rollo is very much in play. Very much in play. I feel like they want to bring back someone who was really popular from the early seasons, and Ragnar and Lagertha are not alive. So
yeah, so I think that Rollo is definitely in play. I would be on the floor if he didn't come back, shocked on the floor if we didn't see him in history. And they, obviously they're playing a little fast and loose with the rules with the show. But Rollo lived for a long time out in France, so I feel that he's still around, and I think that we're gonna see him at some point. There was the whole, is he Bjorn's dad or not sort of thing. I don't think he is. I never thought he was. I think it's possible, but no, I don't think so. But I think Rollo we're going to see come back. We haven't seen Floki all season.
Yeah.
I do think we're going to see him, or at least get some answers on what's going on with him. There was a little part of me, but it's not that big, of the idea of, could we by the end of the series have a peek into Valhalla and see some of the characters that we've lost, and actually see Travis come back or see Catherine Winnick come back. I don't think that that's going to happen. That's probably just me wanting a little bit of fan service to see them one last time. But I think if they were going to bring Travis back, that they would have brought him back for Lagertha's death when we saw the sand blow away and then go into Valhalla together. That would have been the moment.
Yeah.
But there's just this tiny part of me that thinks that maybe if we lose somebody like Bjorn, that maybe we would have a little glimpse into Valhalla and maybe we would see that whole family reunited. I don't think so, but...
I think kind of as you get towards the end of stories like this that have this kind of mythology attached to them, I think that's definitely a carrot that's like dangling over them, and they always want to know, like, should I bite it? Should I not? Like, it brings me back to sort of like the end of Gladiator, or it makes me think a little bit about at least like a section of the main quest in Skyrim. Yeah, that's right. I'm bringing up Skyrim, but no, there's always that part of you that's always like, oh, you know, it's tempting, it's interesting to present that. I know, I think Hirst has said in the past that he's hesitant to show Valhalla because it makes deaths more impactful, but he did do the stuff with Lagertha, and that's kind of sort of a little bit into the afterlife already.
Yeah, and the thing for me is even though, of course, as much as I want to see them come back, and I would be okay if they did it that way, like a little peek into Valhalla afterwards, but they did such a good job with Ragnar's death, and they've done a good service with her Lagertha's funeral and everything that happened there, that bringing them back again, I don't know if it just depends on how they do it.
Yeah.
If it takes away from the power that was behind stuff like Ragnar's death, like that was the moment. There's very few shows out there that kill their main character so early on in the series and then continue on to be a great grand show where it didn't hurt them. And so bringing them back, I'm just not sure about it, and I'm not sure that they should.
Yeah, it all depends on like presentation. I don't think they need to do it, but if it's really cool, I'm not going to be mad after the fact. But those are some things to expect whenever Vikings does come out. It might not be until November or December for all we know.
Which is so painful. I've been sitting on this season for so long.
The promo said coming soon, but soon can mean a lot of different things. But what do you guys want to see in the second half of Viking Season 6? Let us know in the comments. And if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us more by checking the link in the description to the CARTERMATT store. And we'll see you here next time.